So now we're going to call this crib for now, and it may get changed later on. So what we're seeing is now the dog has no problem going in, no hesitation. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a desire or longing to go into the kennel. Now, again, the other ways I told you about was just leaving the treat in the kennel. That works really well. But a better way to do it, and I just recently learned this one,
That's smart.
so now the dog can't, once what's in the kennel, can't get it. So you can see now, not only are we creating a positive association with just being in the kennel, now I really want to get in that kennel. And so this is one way to do it. The other thing is every time you get a new toy, I would introduce it by putting her in the kennel with the door closed. Let her kind of really get worked up about it, and then she has to go in. Then after a while, then you let her go in there. Now don't go too long. We don't want to get a panic state. She starts digging, she can hurt her paws and whatnot. But she is very, very interested in going into that kennel. So another thing that you can do is do you have any toys that have the ability to put treats inside of them? Like a Kong is the most common one, but there are other ones.
I don't have a Kong.
Okay, so like my puppy, I'm not even feeding him in a bowl because dogs in the wild spend 90% of their time looking for food. So that preoccupies and gives them a drive and something to do. We domesticate them, we put it in a bowl. It's super easy. It takes me 2 minutes to eat and I'm full. Now what am I going to do for the other 89% of my time? So what I do with her is and there are all sorts of different toys you can get that have different holes. Now make sure there's always 2 holes. If there's only one, they can actually create a vacuum when they're sucking on it and their tongue can get stuck. And that we don't want it to be a negative experience. So what you can do is get her used to doing that. And they have this one that I like that's about this big. It's orange or red, and it has like little dimples on the outside of various sizes, and one of them's got a hole and a tube, so you can put her food in there. She's got to nudge it with her nose, and as she does, every once in a while treats fall out on the floor and she gets to eat it. So it gives her a way to eat and earn her food. So what I do for oh, that's awesome problem solving right there. That's like a dog psychology exercise. So that's really good. If she pulls that whole thing out, I will give her some treats just for doing that because that's just genius. So we fill up a treat toy with a meal, and then we put the toy in there and also close the door. Or if you get a toy like an antler or a bone or something that she really wants, now what she'll do is she'll go in there, take it, and then come out and eat it. We can close the door, but then we create a negative scenario. So what you do is get something like a bone, I see you have a giant bone, but get something that she really wants, tie it to a string or a shoelace, and tie it to the back of the kennel. So the only way you can chew on it is by being inside the kennel. So again, we want to create as much positive as we can. So every time she goes in there, every time there's a new toy introduced, I get it in the kennel. Every time I go outside and come back in, there's a treat waiting for me in the kennel. Every time, it's mealtime, I have to sit there and look and pine to get into that kennel to get the ball, and then I can nudge the ball out and walk around and get it. And then if I have a special bone or something that's tethered to that, I have to go in there and eat it. So now instead of just the kennel being a place that I'm sent to when my guardians leave, there's a whole lot of good and positive that happens in the kennel, and we create a good association. All right, so those are the tricks to get your dog to want to go in the kennel.